In today's video, we're going to be talking about some upcoming colder air moving into the United States as we move into the month of January. Also, some snowfall opportunities that will come alongside that. Real quickly, let's talk about my consulting company, Prestige Weather. We're closing out an amazing year with so many happy customers. If you're looking for more than the generic hourly or daily forecasts that can be so frustrating and very broad, look no further than Prestige Weather. We help out individuals and businesses alike. If you're an individual looking for better, more accurate, and direct weather information, be sure to subscribe to our standard package. That's only $4.99 a month. You get early access to direct weather, seasonal, and monthly forecasts, also weekly one-on-one calls with us talking about the weather, and regional forecasts cater to your area. If you're a business, organization, or event manager, be sure to email us at prestigeweather@gmail.com or use the sign-up sheet on our website business section. We would love to work with you. We've been helping out so many businesses, organizations, and events just like yours plan for the weather ahead. We offer consulting calls, texts, and emails catered to your exact location of need. We will be on standby during your job or event and give you updates from start to finish. We also offer long-range, medium-range, and short-range forecasts. We can help with rainfall and snowfall forecasts, plus the timing of onset and ending, which is so important. We pride ourselves on being highly flexible, and we're always willing to deliver on your specific needs. Put a meteorologist in your pocket so you no longer have to guess what the weather. All right, let's dive into things. And first things first, we're taking a look here at our European model, and really this one, just to give you guys some context, we're not seeing any snowstorms come together yet on this model. This one has a little bit less range. We are going to see one here on the GFS, and it's going to come down to timing, right? If we're going to see some snowstorms with this puzzle pieces that we have together, if we're going to see it all come together here, we're going to need the timing to be set up perfectly. So we're going to be going over those potential storm signals that could come together. We do have one showing up here on our GFS model that we'll take a look at in a little bit. But as with everything in weather, there is always the chance that nothing ends up coming together the right way. And then we have some years where everything comes together in the right way. So it really depends on a lot. And I just want to be completely transparent with that. As we move towards later this afternoon, we can see that we do have our minor nor'easter here set up over the mid-Atlantic and the northeast, bringing some heavy rainfall, a little bit of some gusty winds, pretty much just nasty weather for these areas. And that low is a pretty weak low, but it's set up somewhere over eastern North Carolina there. We see warm air really surging in the west, and we do have this more minor trough moving in. Your jet stream is doing something like this. It's pretty inverted at this point, and this is going to kind of just swing eastward here over time. So we'll see that end up happening here. As you can see, by the time we're taking a look at about tomorrow afternoon, or actually it's 2 days from now, this is going to be Friday afternoon, we still have this warmth surging over the west and then a pretty big trough over the east. But look at all the green everywhere. So this is very, very marginal, very slightly below normal temperatures. We're not seeing snowfall as a result of this, indicating above freezing temperatures for all of these areas. So certainly just very slightly below normal temperatures. This is going to be a pretty minor trough overall, to be completely transparent with you guys. The more potent one is going to come in after. This is by Sunday the 31st, and we have some deeper cold air. Again, look at the blues. So we're seeing snowfall within this one, definitely colder than the one prior to it. We could see this one move down, bringing snowfall even to West Virginia, Pennsylvania, snowfall showers. Not really seeing a major snowstorm come together yet on this one. There is a lot of precipitation very close to this colder air mass, so we are seeing some potential there, but I wouldn't, I wouldn't bet on it happening here at this point. Definitely a lot needs to change for that to end up taking place, so certainly we'll be watching for it, and wilder things have happened, but certainly something to watch. But not really something that we're too confident in coming all the way together. The problem longer down the road is going to be if we get colder or warmer air in the west. And on this particular model run, we do see a trough move into the west. And this is going to make the colder air in the east basically suppressed, at least to the north central and northeastern states. And the warm air is going to be able to fight in quite a bit here through the southeast and south central states. And this is all because of this colder air diving into the west. If there was a ridge here, we would see this trough come down much, much deeper at this time frame. Something like this is what we would be seeing as a result of that, but we are seeing that PNA and what's called the EPO really not help out here, is what I would say. The interesting thing is that we do have a pretty strong low to work with here, 1005, right around the 4th and 5th time frame here. But as you can see, it slides pretty innocently off the coast, and then we get colder air moving in here right at the end of this model run. So and definitely this Pacific area, the west, seems to get a lot more favorable here towards the end, where we are seeing the potential for a bigger trough in the east after this point. But our range here on this model is only out to the 6th, so we're not getting great range. The GFS is going to give us a lot more insight here. So we get that first minor trough moves out, more major one moves in afterwards. We do see a lot more wintry activity as a result of this. So look at this right here. We do see a stronger low closer to the coast. So this is our most favorable looking model at this point. And if the GFS model is your most favorable looking model, that's not the best sign in the world. If the rest are not on board with it and only the GFS is, definitely not something that I would be fully relying on here. But definitely goes to show that there is some possibility for this low to be a lot closer to the coast. And there is still some slight possibilities here for the eastern states during those first few days of January. If this low was a lot closer to the coast here, we'd be seeing much greater impacts as far as wintry weather. After this, look at how much deep cold air makes its way into the east. I mean, we are seeing snow showers. We're seeing deep cold here in the east, but there's no low pressure systems to work with. I mean, we are shut down here for the Gulf, shut down here for the eastern states. All of it is suppressed pretty far to the south and east at this point. But as we keep going, we see that some cold air is still shooting in. We're getting more clipper systems overall by this point, according to this model. So storms moving in from Canada and making their way out the northeast states. And again, the Gulf of Mexico is really just shooting these storms out to the middle of the ocean. We call this a fish storm because those are the only creatures that are going to be really experiencing this storm. No land animals would really be getting impacts from these. Because of just the nature of it. But something interesting happens here as we get closer to the 10th. Take this with a grain of salt. This is extremely far out and certainly something that we wouldn't bet on happening exactly like this, but goes to show what the pattern supports. And I've been saying that for days, but we see this low is going to move straight up the coast. This looks a lot like 2010, the December storm. We get North Carolina and Virginia getting some heavy snowfall to begin things. That low begins to really bomb out down to a 994 already, bringing heavy snowfall. Drops all the way down to a 982, very coastal snowstorm, down to a 969 millibar low pressure center. Starts to bring very heavy snowfall to New England, and it gets all the way as low as 961 millibars there, and then begins to weaken after that point with severe cold right here at the end of the model run. Again, I wouldn't bet on this happening. Gonna look extremely different even in the next couple of model runs after this, but really goes to show the potential that we have with this cold air and coastal storms moving through if things lined up correctly, which, as we know, we don't really know if that's going to happen or not, as I've really mentioned. But all we're talking about today is the puzzle pieces, not if those puzzle pieces are going to be put together or not. We see the potential here. We need to see if once it's in the short range, if that looks to come together or not. There's a lot of question marks here, and we're looking very far long range, so a lot can change, a lot can happen, and certainly it's going to be something that we are tracking daily. The total precipitation here through the next 10 days at least is pretty heavy here for the northwest coast, also for the Gulf Coast and up the east coast, mostly with the storms happening over the next couple of days though. It's a little bit quieter afterwards. As we take a look at the total snowfall on the European model, we see we get pretty much shut down here. A lot of the west gets quite a bit of snowfall, even extending down into some of the south central states here, so getting quite a bit there. And then we get some snow showers across the northeast and north central, but not too severe at all yet. The GFS model, however, does have this major snowstorm that moves in, something like this, and the result of this is extreme. Anywhere in the grays would be a dusting, if anything. Blues 2 to 6 inches. Purple 6 to 10, pinks 10 to 20, your pastel blues 20 inches plus, and even some pastel pinks in here for Long Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, and even into bits of Maine. That would be 30 inches plus. Certainly, again, very long range. Definitely seeing it on the GFS model is a red flag. I would not bet on this exact storm happening, but it is so beautiful to look at maps like this. I love doing it. But definitely, this is the potential of the puzzle pieces coming together, but we need them to come together for this to happen. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. We will be uploading videos daily, of course, and updating you guys on these upcoming occurrences through the month of January. That certainly looks more exciting than December went. And again, we mentioned this on the Direct Weather 2.0 channel. The link will be in the pinned comment, but there is some signs that later in January into February could be extremely cold due to an event happening in the Arctic Circle currently. So we have a video on that if you want to check it out. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.